How to get over the fear of being on camera. Now, here's the thing. This video is specifically gonna be for people that maybe have a business and you are looking to do video content for that business, to market that business. You're gonna be putting out social media content, you're gonna be putting out YouTube videos, podcasts, whatever it is, or you're gonna be getting on other people's podcasts. Here's the methods in which you can get over the fear of being on camera and actually kicking ass while you're on camera. Now, I have personally, over my 12 to 13 year career of being in the media space, have shot videos with roughly about 300 real estate investors over the course of my career. And out of those 300 plus people that I've worked with, I would say a very small percentage, like maybe like 20-ish% of those people were actually comfortable being on camera, meaning they were confident to just step in front of a camera, look it square in the face and start talking. Everybody else, it's difficult, but it's subjective because every single person handles it differently. There's some people that literally will sweat bullets and they're extremely shaky and they're really just nervous. It's not that they're not confident in the material that they're talking about. It's just the fact that they don't get on camera often. So they're gonna struggle with that if it's put in their face just to look at, like the lens is literally the only thing you're looking into. And then they start talking and, you know, they're afraid they're going to mess up and stuff like that. Everybody has different fears. There's people that are fearful of just messing up. That's literally the only thing they're concerned with is screwing up because maybe they're a perfectionist. There's so many different symptoms when it comes to being on camera if you're afraid of being on camera. So here's the thing. I'm going to make this is going to be a very simple video and you're probably going to watch this and be like, okay, thanks Josh, that helps. Most of this is going to be mindset wise, right? There's going to be a couple exercises I'm going to tell you about that I put people through as I'm recording video content with them. But most of this is just extremely simple. And hopefully I'm going to help somebody today because listen, if you're the type of person that you own a business and you're knowledgeable in a specific field, you need to not only leverage social media and video content because it's the way of marketing nowadays. That's one reason to do it. But the other reason is like you have something to share with the world. It's your responsibility to share it. So let's get over this fear, make it happen, get you on video, and so that you can start recording some kick-ass content to put out in the world, market your business, and also deliver value to people. So obviously I'm gonna actually start with like the most basic thing, but it's the most foundational thing to think about that a lot of people just kind of overlook and they literally don't allow themselves to get started. But if you literally just thought of it this way that I'm about to explain it to you as, it's going to be easy for you to just kind of break into it. With anything else, literally anything that you could do, you play guitar, play basketball, if you're going to edit video, if you're going to bake goods, if you're going to run a marathon or whatever it is, it all starts with that first time you do it. Now, if let's say for instance, you run a marathon and you're nervous about it, you're working up your sweat and it's really nerve-wracking and you're not sure how you're gonna do. Listen, you practiced it and now you're gonna do it for the first time. That first time is gonna be really difficult, but once you get it done and over with, you're gonna be like, I'm glad I did that. And then you're gonna do it again and it becomes addicting. That's literally how this works. Practice. Perfect practice makes perfect, in my opinion. I grew up playing sports and I was always taught that by my coaches. You hear practice makes perfect, but somebody could step into, like say for instance, they're a basketball player and they could step into a gym and just kind of lollygag and just throw up random shots and stuff like that, not really have any method to the madness. And that's practicing. However, it's not gonna really move the needle for them. So practice hard, practice what you're doing, and that's gonna get you to the achievable places that you really want to be. It's no different than being on camera. When you're on camera, the more you do it, the more you practice it, the better you're going to get. It's funny enough because I had a video go out about this with my good friend Brent Daniels. I got him on my podcast, REI Marketing Weekly, and Brent's just an outstanding human being, one of my favorite people in the world. And he has a podcast called Wholesaling Inc. But he's been hosting this podcast for quite some time. And he's one of the biggest influencers and educators in the real estate investing space. If you go Google him, you're going to find him very easily. He and I were talking about this. And I specifically use this analogy. Like if you go and look up Brent's very first video, if you find it, you're going to find that it probably sucked. And you might look at it and be like, I could do much better than that. But that was like 1,000 videos ago. So he's just practiced it so many times that he's gotten to a point where he's just excellent in the aura that he has. The energy that he brings on video is outstanding and it's engaging and it holds your attention. That's literally the method. Practice, 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 practice. Just do it. The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. and you give effort to it. And a lot of it is preparation. So as long as you prepare yourself for it, now here's the thing. When I'm working with people, I typically will tell them, I'll go through a little exercise and I'll say, what type of personality are you? Are you a perfectionist, or are you somebody that just kind of like, you're cool with winging it? If I get a perfectionist, and this is where you need to know yourself. If you're a perfectionist, my advice to you would be to have your topics, like create your topics on what you're going to do the videos on, create your bullet points, and that's it. Don't do anything else, and don't review it 20 times. Don't look at it like, you know, the night before you're going to be recording and stuff like that. Because as a perfectionist, your objective is to make it as perfect as possible, and you're going to cast so much judgment upon yourself in your preparation work, and then when you get on video, and then after you record, that the content's never going to see the light of day. So just don't be perfect. I know that's hard. It's a tall task to ask if you are a perfectionist, but the bottom line is to just get it out and get it done, get it over with. And I would even advise you to say, like, if you're going to record videos, if it's possible to have somebody in your office, maybe a spouse or a friend or somebody, record the videos for you, and you're just going to be talking, I would advise you doing it that way, because they're going to be the ones that are like, no, just push through it, just go. And then they record, and then when you're done, it's done recording, and then they move on to the next one. And I would tell you, don't go back and look at your footage. Have somebody else edit your content, put it out, and then you're good to go. And then just have the assumption that, like, I'm just going to get better and better over time. Guys, go back to my very first videos. I leave them on here. I want you to see them. Go back to my first videos on my YouTube channel here, and you're going to find that I absolutely suck. But I'm okay with that, because I know that I got better over time. In the video that you're watching today, you know, back then I was saying a lot of ums and ahs and stammering and stuttering and like really having a hard time creating a very clear line of sight with my topics. And now I'm excellent at it because I've been doing it for so long. So when it comes down to it, know yourself, know what you do. If you're the type of person that you're cool with just turning on a camera and then you have a topic and you spit it out, like me, that's what I do. I literally don't have notes in front of me or anything. I just know this material inside and out, so I know how to convey it to you. Then turn the camera on and just get it done and go. And then don't worry about what happens on the other side, because you're just going to get better and better. Principally, this is one of the only things I want to bring up on this video. Practice. Continue to practice. Continue to crank out the content. Put it out. Go live if you have to, because with live, you're not editing it. You're just talking. And then that holds you accountable. That's just going to be going out there and it's raw content. And just remember, guys, like, people are fine with unpolished. People are fine with unrefined. Like, it turns off a lot of people, actually, if it's well scripted and word for word, and you don't and ah, and you don't have pauses or have to think about, you know, what you're doing and have body movement and that sort of thing. It turns a lot of people off because it almost tells people that it's inauthentic. So if you just get on camera and do your best, like, obviously you want to do your best with anything. The statement for me is utilize today's best that you're doing is going to be the floor for tomorrow. And then you just get better over time. And then tomorrow's floor is going to be, or tomorrow's best is going to be the floor for the next day, and then so on and so forth. And you just get better and better over time as you do it. That's the important thing to understand here. Obviously, outside of that, there's going to be a few exercises that you could do. Like, I would say, look at the camera and practice your topic like one time without it recording. Or, guys, listen, like, this is what post-production video editing's for. Let it record, and then if you nail it, then cool. Like, that's awesome. But if you don't nail it, then you can just start the video all over again and get it out again. And that's going to be okay, because then you can have an editor go in and snip out any screw-ups, mess-ups, and stuff like that. And I think that's one piece of advice that I can give you is, if you are going to record, just record and let it roll. Don't worry about stopping and starting the footage if you mess up. Just, if you mess up, go back to a previous point that you had stated, start it over again, and just go right back into the video. So to me, it's just going to be doing it that way. Another tip that I can give you to get good video content out, that's going to kind of help you get over the fear of being on video, is allow somebody to interview you. This is a really, really good way for people that aren't familiar with being on camera and aren't familiar with contextualizing a thought, putting it out there. Is literally, if you're on video, by the way, and you're talking about something, it should be something you're an expert in anyway. So you should be able to talk about it inside and out anyway. So what you could do is, let's say, for instance, I'm recording video and I have my spouse or a team member sitting just off to the camera, so I don't have to look at the camera. You could do it what I call 60-minute style. So, you know, the show's 60 minutes, they're interviewing each other, and they're never really ever looking at the camera. So you could do it that way, where it's like, you have this person sitting here and you're just talking to them. So they're going to pitch you a question and you're just going to answer it while you're looking at them so you don't even have to look at the camera. Then over time, come back this way and get almost eye contact with the camera, and then eventually you're gonna be making eye contact with the camera and work your way in that way. That's a really good kind of useful practice piece that you could roll with as well to kind of help at least get video content going without having to look directly in the camera, because I know that can be weird for some people. So the last part of this is obviously, like I said, is going to be allowing people to interview you. You could have, ask somebody, even if it's a spouse or a parent or somebody that knows you, and say, hey, you don't really know what I do, so I just want you to get on video and ask me. Get them on Zoom or Riverside and record the content that way and allow them to just pitch you a ton of questions. And then you're hitting record and you're just talking. And that's one way to be able to get a really good consistent flow of content out without having to pressure yourself into the only thing you're talking to is a camera and it's not another human being, because I know that's a big roadblock for some people. So other than that, those are the pieces of advice I can give you. Listen, a lot of it's up here. Really, it's the mindset. It's just getting over it, doing the action, and then making sure that you just continue to crank it out. And keep in mind, the more you do it, the better you will get at it. Practice hard, and practice intentionally. And that's gonna get you to a point where you're gonna be very comfortable on camera. You're gonna be able to spit stuff out very, very easily, and it's not gonna be difficult for you. So hopefully that helps somebody. I know that it sounds simpler than what it is, but if you just boil it down to these steps, it will be something that you could just kind of crack into and break into and just, be a king and make sure that you're creating kick-ass content, which is the essential goal. So other than that, thank you so much for joining me today and hanging out for a little bit. If you haven't already, make sure you have subscribed to my channel and leave a comment below if you have anything specific you would like for me to talk about and do a video on. If you have questions regarding video content, content marketing, podcasting, and all that stuff, I would love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Maybe I'll shoot a video answering that question for you there. Other than that, thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you on the next one.